Hey guys, welcome to another Power Rangers video. Power Rangers, the deck building game, and this time I just want to talk a little bit more about some of the Zords that I managed to capture, some images, and just going over the Zords that exist in the current game that I have, the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers deck building game, and just looking at the difference, a little bit of the differences between the Zords that we have here and the pictures that I got on my phone. So the first thing we notice is the Zord Bay. We have two different types of Zord Bays. We have the Zeo Sword Bay and the Sword Bay, which is the original one. So the original Mighty Morphin Sword Bay, this one requires 5 energy. And this effect will ready all attached Zords. Use only if your character is a Ranger. It doesn't have to be a Mighty Morphin Power Ranger. It can be any Ranger. It just has to be a Ranger. And for the Zeo Sword Bay, it says destroy one card in your hand or discard pile and ready one attached sword. So this Sword Bay is pretty good to thin out your deck. So if you're looking for a quick way to thin out your deck and get the best possible cards in your deck and the least best cards out of your deck, you would want to start your game with the Zeo Sword Bay. The cool thing about the original is that it readies all the attached swords, opposed to this one, which I believe is one at a time. But if you read on the right side of the Zeo Sword Bay, you see over here it says when 3 swords are attached, exhaust all swords and flip this tile. So this tile has a second stage, and I do got the picture for that. And as you can see, this Zeo Sword Bay only has 5 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if you look at this one, it has 6 because of the 6th Ranger. But there is a 6th Ranger as well in Zeo, but he has this. I don't know where. I don't know. I don't think 6 swords are needed to make. For example, the Megazord has a second form with the Dragon Zord, so that's why it has 6 slots. So let's take a look at that tile when we flip it for this Zeo. Okay, so here it is. Here is the Zeo Sword Bay flipped over. And as you can see, the red battle sword is in the middle. And the red battle sword is less than the Mighty Morphin Bay, the requirement. But what this one does is pretty much what the Mighty Morphin one does as well, but instead of attaching all, it attaches one. So ready one attached Zord, then destroy one card in your hand or discard pile to deal 1 damage for each ready sword. So this one is also really good, again, if you're looking to thin out your deck, and you can also unleash some damage. The difference is, this allows you to use all these abilities because it will ready up everything for you. And yeah, guys, that's pretty much the difference for that. So let's go take a look at some of the swords that I've captured, some of the images. All right, so here we have Perimias. And this is the 6th Ranger sword, and let's compare the 6th Ranger swords with Perimias. So we have here the Dragon Sword. The Dragon Sword requires 0 energy. You just have to have it ready. Deal 5 damage if negated, discard this card. And the Tiger Sword, it says here, this aside a little bit, deal 3 damage plus 3 damage if you have 5 or fewer energy. If negated, discard this card. So obviously this one hits a little harder than the Dragon Sword. And this is a DLC, guys. If you guys do want this, you gotta buy the bonus pack. So for the Perimias, it says deal 2 damage to target foe and destroy 1 card in your hand or discard pile. So look at that. You can destroy cards with Perimias, and you can destroy cards with the Zeo Sword Base. So you're just destroying cards that you don't need. So the Zeo expansion standalone is a great way to thin out your deck. So if you do want to thin out your deck and you want to mix and match, you are allowed to mix and match. For example, the Dragon Sword with Perimias. You are allowed to pick, as long as you don't go over the amount required. So you can't go over 6 swords. You can still put 6 swords for the Zeo bait, but you can't attach 6, so you got to choose wisely. But the max swords you can have on standby is 6. So here we have Zeo Sword 2, and this one deal 2 damage plus 2 damage for if you battle a card this turn. So, if you battle a card, you deal 2 extra damage. If you don't, you just deal 2. So, and here I have the Zeo Sword 3. And this one was for yellow, gold. I like the way they tell you the colors up there. And then we have blue. Gain 1 equipment from target foe's discard pile with a cost of 3 or less. That's actually a really cool ability. That's a good way to slow your opponent down and just poach and take their stuff. And here we have the Zeo Megazord. And here we have... Oh, drop that. Let me get that. And here we have the old school Megazord, which is... Actually, this one is much stronger because he can turn into this. I think he's much stronger. Let's read the effect. Let's compare it. Ready all attached Zords, then attack. Deal damage for each attached swords. Ready all attached Zords, deal 4 damage. So yeah, this one is definitely stronger depending how many Zords you have attached. If you have all 6 attached and you're playing with Mighty Morphin, this one is way stronger than the Zeo Megazord. But, oh, and it costs less too to activate this effect. But getting this one is not easy. But let's focus on the normal one here. Let's read what it says here. Ready all attached Zords, then attack. Each target foe places their attached master on top of their deck. Okay, so that's cool. That's a good way to slow your opponents down because the masters are a pain in the butt. So they look cool side by side. So these are them. All right, so let's take a quick look at the masters and the Zords from Mighty Morphin. I do have some other cards I do want to go over before I do that. So let's look at some cards that I was able to find. We have this will keep them busy. Destroy 1 card in your hand to negate an attack. Draw 1 card, then discard this card. So it's a good way to block an opponent, obviously to block card, and to draw a card. And, yeah, so to destroy a card in your hand. So there's another great way to thin out your deck. And here we have Defender Wheel. Deal 3 damage. If foe has visible block, they must block this attack. If able, if negated, draw 1 card. So another good way to draw a card, if negated, and to deal damage. And this one forces the hand of the opponent to block. They would have to block, and they can either choose to take the hit or to block it. And if they block it, if able, then they would have to negate your attack and you draw a card. And over here, Shrink Ray. This one is pretty funny. It says, I mean, I would never do this, but it's funny though. It says, target foe discards 1 attached card, discards 1 card, gains 1 stunt, and must talk in a high-pitched voice until the start of their next turn. So have fun with that, guys. And this is the Zorbay, and that was something else I want to show you guys, but we'll go over that maybe in my next video. So yeah, this is pretty much it, guys. So let's focus a little bit on these for those that don't have the game. So this is the Pink Ranger's Zord. Attack, deal 1 damage for each starter you control. So this is a good way to start off. I don't think this is the best ability because you don't really want starters, but it's a good way to, if you do get her early, it's a good way to use that effect before you start thinning out your deck. We read this one before already. We read the Dragon Zord. Here it's a Triceratops. It says it's a... Oh, wait. That's the other one. Target foe gains 1 stun for each blocking your discard pile. So a good way to... If you are running a block deck, it's a good way to flood your opponent with stunt cards. And this is a block. Negate an attack, draw 1 card. So this is a great card right here. This one, the Tyrannosaurus Red Ranger. Deal 1 damage for each hero you control. So this works really well with the Red Ranger, who loves to deal damage with heroes attached. Deal 3 damage for each hero attached to your character. Then we have the Saber-Tooth Tiger. Deal 3 damage. If negated, heal 2. So it's a good way to heal yourself if you get negated. Then we have the Masters here that are the equivalent of the Zords for the villains. Rita is a great way to give yourself some energy. At the start of your turn, heal 4 and it's ongoing. So unless you can destroy this card some way, you're going to be struggling because every turn your opponent will gain 4 energy. Rito is also another card. At the start of your turn, draw 1 card. So he just gives you extra cards. This one is very dangerous. At the start of your turn, attack damage, you deal 3 damage. Then we have Scorpina. At the start of your turn, attack target discards 1 card, so that's a good hindrance right here. This one is actually a good card as well, but it's a drawback for yourself unless you don't need that many cards in your hand. Discard 3 cards from your hand to block and gain attack. At the start of your turn, you may destroy 1 card in your hand. So this one works really well with the discarding effects. Too bad he can't be part of the Zords, or else he would have been a killer combo. But yeah, guys, in the layer for the villains, when you attach a villain to the layer, deal 1 damage for each master you control. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Just wanted to go over those pictures I acquired, some of the late images. And yeah, I mean, maybe later or tomorrow I'll make another video. And I wanted to talk about Serpentera, the ultimate Zord. It's not really a Zord, but it is a Zord, but it's not a Zord in this game. It's more of a signature item. And that comes along with the bonus content. So if you did pre-order the game, you will get Serpentera. And if you have played Yu-Gi-Oh!, you do know that Serpentera is kind of like Exodia, unless you block the attack. Exodia, you can't block it. You can block Serpentera. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. Take care.